pressure on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Stacks on Stacks Slides, joined with my guy, Mr. Swervin Irvin Washington, wearing the purple of the Vikings, going against his Broncos tonight. What's up with that, Irv?
Oh, no, I only wear purple for Prince. Fuck the Vikings, even though Prince is from Minnesota, but
And he was a
purple
Viking
ring.
fan. Yep. Nonetheless, great fucking day of football, man. A lot of shit went down. Exciting day of NFL, exciting weekend of college basketball, college football, NBA, NHL, all the sports are on, man. All the sports. F1 in Vegas. I don't know how anyone watches that shit. That shit is boring as fuck, dude.
Yeah, I think NASCAR is more entertaining than that shit, and I couldn't stand NASCAR as a kid.
Yeah, man, that shit is like, everyone's like, oh my God, that was the most exciting race. And I was like, if that was the most exciting race, I don't even want to watch F1, dude. Because I actually watched that. I watched all 50 laps of that shit, and I was not entertained, dude. It was free to watch on ESPN, and I wanted my money back. That's where we were at. That's where we were at with that. But nonetheless, excited to be here. Excited to talk some NFL as we always do on Sundays. We are being brought to you by the Sharps app. Make sure to download Sharps, track your bets, become a better. That's SHARPZ. You can download it to your mobile device. Use promo code JORD517. It's free, and it makes you better. So download that shit. Get that shit. With that being said, man, ready to talk some football, man. How about you, Irv? Let's talk. Look, before we talk NFL, because it's just you and I want to talk some college football first and foremost. We have with Jordan Travis going down, it really opens up the college football playoff for sure. So I know like Oregon still has to play Oregon State, Washington still has to play Washington State. Obviously, we have the conference championships, but how do you think the college football playoff is going to? How do you think it's gonna how it's gonna land?
Well, it could be it's a sucky situation, but if Oregon wins out and only have one loss, if Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship, it's going to be two SEC teams in the playoff again, because they're not going to put Oregon over a one-loss Georgia, and they're definitely not going to put Oregon over a one-loss Bama.
Oregon will be in the college football playoff if they win out.
Yeah, the only if they went out, but that would mean Florida State would have to lose.
Even if Florida State, like, they're not going to beat Louisville without Jordan Travis. But even if they were to, dude, the college football playoff committee is not going to put Florida State in there because Florida State will get fucking mollywopped.
Yeah, but they're undefeated though.
It don't matter, dude. Without Jordan Travis, that team would get fucking obliterated. Like,
yeah,
they should already have two losses.
I wouldn't put them in, but if they go undefeated, they're going to the playoffs.
I don't know. I don't think they're gonna win the ACC championship, but because I see it like this, dude. So Ohio State and Michigan still have to play each other, right? Winner of that obviously gets in. Now, if Michigan wins handily, I don't think Ohio State has a chance of getting in. Because while Ohio State, while they have beat Notre Dame and they beaten Penn State, they haven't really looked good in either of those games, right? Michigan, on the other hand, I mean, they dominated Penn State in Happy Valley. That was a great fucking win, and without Jim Harbaugh, right? So, in my opinion, if Michigan dominates Ohio State. If they win pretty handily, I don't think Ohio State has a chance, especially because the game is played in the Big House this year, right?
Yeah.
It's played in Michigan.
No, it's not the big. Wait, yeah, it's in the big house because
Yeah,
last year
it was in Ohio
it was
State.
the horseshoe.
Yeah. So I think if Michigan handles that, I think they're in. Ohio State's completely out. Now, if Bama beats Georgia in the SEC championship, I think both of them get in, right?
Yeah.
And then if Oregon handles Washington in the Pac-12 championship, which I totally think is going to happen, I think Oregon gets in, regardless of anything. And that's why I think FSU is going to be on the outside looking in, even if they win the ACC championship. And I know people are going to say, well, they have one loss. I get it. But I'm telling you right now, the College Football Playoff Committee is not going to put them in without Jordan Travis. Especially if they, like, barely beat Louisville. And it's, like, an ugly fucking game.
Yeah, they shouldn't, but I'm just saying if they go undefeated,
I know it's hard to like not put them in, but let's be real, dude. They're not gonna beat any of the college football playoff teams without Jordan Travis.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, but I wouldn't be shocked if they kept them in even if they stay undefeated without Jordan Travis. I can see how they get in, even over a one-loss Pac-12 champion in Oregon.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Oregon's looked really
I
fucking good.
I don't want to see that because FSU without Jordan Travis is totally not a playoff caliber team.
Because even when you look at the resumes, it's like what's Florida's best wins of the year
LSU
on a basically at home, and who else?
Yeah.
And who else?
Agreed.
And Clemson. Those are their two best wins.
What's Oregon best win?
Well, it's going to be Washington when they beat them in the Pac-12 championship. But, I mean, they went into Rice-Eccles Stadium and beat Utah, which is not an easy thing to do. They're the only team that's done it in the last 4 years. You know what I mean? And then they've handled everybody that they played. They've handled them. Their only loss is at Washington. And they should have won that game. And anybody that watched that game knows they were the better team on the field that day. Even Washington fans.
Yeah, I get that, but they gotta beat Washington. They gotta beat Oregon State.
Well, they're gonna dominate Oregon State.
Man.
Oregon State's cooked, dude.
I know the Pac-12 is the best conference from top to bottom, but it's hard for me to see the committee putting leaving out an undefeated FSU, even with the Jordan Travis injury. Dude. Not saying they deserve to be there because I don't think they're gonna be too competitive without Jordan Travis. So
they like continuously, the committee, they like put in Notre Dame and shit. Notre Dame gets blown out. They put in Cincinnati and Cincinnati gets blown out. I don't know if they're gonna. I honestly think they'll take a one-loss Oregon over an undefeated FSU without Jordan Travis. Personally,
yeah, I think
it's opinion.
Honestly, I think they should put the one-loss Oregon in, but if you factor in that Jordan Travis injury, but this committee's done stranger things, so I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised.
That's the thing. That you're right. We can't get in their heads, dude. And we talked about this last year. Like they don't have a formula as to how they fucking choose teams. They just kind of fucking choose them. So your guess is as good as mine. My guess is as good as yours. I just don't see that playing out. Let's transition to USC real quick. Just a dog shit year straight up. Like, there's no way to sugarcoat it. 7-5, losing 3 straight in November, losing 4 of the last 5. It's been an ugly fucking ride this year. Me, I've been pretty vocal about this season. I was very high on the hire of Lincoln Riley, but I'm not gonna lie, Irv, I think he's in over his head, dude. I think he is. And I think
it was like year 3 or 4, I would say that. But him having that greatest turnaround in USC history that first year put a lot of expectations on the program. He did fuck up by keeping Alex Grinch, so now he has to hit the reset button and look himself in the mirror.
Dog shit.
I think next year I think next year should be a better year. They won't have as much expectations. They can fly under the radar and build. The defensive coordinator hire is going to be very, very critical to what they're trying to build going forward. So they got to hit a home run with that hire, and if they do that, I think they'll be set up pretty nicely heading to the Big Ten.
That's my thing is like, I think after what USC did last year and how they lost in the Cotton Bowl, how they lost in, the end of the season, and how he like doubled down on Grinch right away. Like it was like, nah, he's my guy. Like that's my guy, doubling down on him. Like to me, that was like a huge mistake because everybody in the world saw how bad the defense was. Everybody. And then you go out and you get better talent, right? And you retain the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback and you upgrade your offensive line with talent wise, quote unquote, upgrade offensive line talent. And everything just regressed, dude. And like I look back at it now and I'm like, USC probably should have lost three games last year, maybe 3 to 4. We had a lot of things go our way. And would things be differently had that happened? Because last year there was no expectations, right? Like last year was like the fact that Lincoln Riley did what he did, it was like, holy shit, what's he going to do in year 2 if he did this in year 1, right? So it compounded expectations 10 times, tenfold. I agree with you. I think expectations were overblown in hindsight. However, he did do that in year 1, so the expectations had to be there. And he didn't get hired and get
You have vast influence.
Oh my
Are you
goodness.
interested in helping spread the word?
Sorry. He didn't get paid, $12, $14 million, whatever he's getting paid. We don't know because they're a private institution. He didn't get paid that money to not have expectations. Like, there's expectations at USC. Those expectations are to win the Pac-12 every fucking year. And now, we're going to the Big Ten, a tougher conference, and to compete for national titles. That's the expectation at USC. That's always been the expectation. That is why coaches get fired, even though they have winning records and go to bowl games every year. If you have a winning record and go to bowl games every year at fucking Syracuse, you're a fucking legend. You know what I mean? This is SC. There's different expectations. And when I say Lincoln Riley's in over his head, I think he is in a way because he's not an SC guy, right? And he excelled at Oklahoma for sure. He had a great tenure at Oklahoma. But it's different here. He thinks Oklahoma fans are bad. Bro, we expect a lot more than Oklahoma does. You look at our trophy cases, Irv, there's a lot more in the USC. There's a lot more USC than there is in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't think he's in over his head though. I just think he has definitely has a lot of some adjusting.
He has to look in the mirror though.
He definitely got to look in the mirror. The O-line definitely needs a upgrade as far as the tackles. The inside is fine. It's just the tackles couldn't block speed rushers to save their fucking lives. So him and the O-line coach definitely got to get some more talent at that position.
And I think he's got I think he got higher OC, Irv.
That would look good for him to relieve himself of play calling duties and worry more about being the CEO. Because even if he did relieve the play calling duties, I'm sure he's still gonna have a huge impact on the game plan. He could probably take like the Andy Reid role.
Yep.
And that'll work out good for him. But as far as just building a program, he did what he was supposed to do. Now maybe he should have did it a lot sooner, but I can understand him not firing his DC just after 1 year, especially after upgrading the talent and doing everything they tried to do to right the ship. So, but hindsight is 2020. Looking ahead to 2024, he definitely got to hit that DC hire out the park and start building from there. QB, you got some talent with Miller Moss and Malachi Nelson. Will they take a transfer guy, a bridge guy? We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. But 2024, probably I'm expecting a better year for the Trojans than this year for sure.
telling you right now.
Now, if he does, now if he has another year like he did this year, then they definitely gonna start calling for his job
Yep. I was just gonna
because
say
this
like
AD,
he can't do that.
because this AD didn't hire him, and Lord knows how long of a leash he would have. But I'm pretty sure he's gonna get at least 2 more years minimum to keep building his program the way he wants to build it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I'm not calling for his job at all. When I say he's in over his head, I'm just
Yeah, I'm
saying.
just saying.
I'm just saying in the sense like I just think that he focuses too much on one side of the ball, and that side that he focused on took a step back too. You know what I mean? And then like the defense was just absolutely fucking dog shit. Like 25th in recruiting right now, and I know USC doesn't pay NIL to high school recruits, but something has to change. You know what I mean? Like he didn't get paid this kind of money to be a 7-5 team, dude. That's not going to cut it. And next year,
Oh, definitely agreed. They probably there's been some rumblings on message boards and as far as on the administration side, and even the donors and the support for the NIL. They want to re-look at how they structure and how they do NIL as far as high school recruits. So I wouldn't think it's a pay to play type situation, but more of an incentive
yeah,
type situation like other schools are doing and getting away with. But I understand USC's cautiousness when it comes to this NIL stuff because if they get caught out of bounds, it's gonna probably be a death penalty coming down for USC. They're not in the South, so
yep.
or the Big Ten, so they don't get the benefit of the doubt. So I see why USC is cautious when
But
it comes to the NIL with the high schools.
I think you got to recruit high school well though, because you get guys into your program and you can develop them into your system, right? Rather than just always
Yeah.
having transfers and stuff. And now they're cracking down on the transfer portal too. So it's like, how effective is that going to be?
Yeah, it's just if the big fish got to hop in early and they got to make their decisions before a certain amount of time. So the only thing, honestly, what that's going to do is just speed up the process. It might slow down people jumping in it as far
But Irving,
as
college
often.
basketball, we're seeing them hold back eligibility from kids transferring for a third time.
Yeah, because that waiver thing has gotten a lot more strict because of COVID. It was just a free for all, so it's getting stricter. But if you have your one time transfer, then you should take advantage of it, and you shouldn't wait around thinking the situation gonna get better if it's not. So I get it. It's just USC is in a real peculiar position when it comes to NIL. Now, if you a proven talent and you hop in that portal, of course they're gonna have a very, 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 very competitive and good NIL situation for you. It's just they got to figure out how to bridge the gap. Um, as far as NIL with the high school because a lot of these schools is complete dog shit. Auburn just lost to New Mexico at home and they just got a 5-star commitment over the weekend from a wide receiver.
Well, I'm
And
telling you
you
right
think
now,
he's
New
going there
Mexico
because
State is a powerhouse program, dog.
so and you think he's committing to Auburn because they're a good program?
Nah, he
Okay.
definitely not. War Eagle, baby. Hey, you know why he committed to Auburn is because Hugh Freeze sent him some strippers.
That could be the case.
And when I say strippers, I don't mean legitimate strippers. I mean like the other ones, the illegal strippers that do more than just stripping. He's been caught before, dude. This isn't news to anybody. Okay. Before we jump to NFL, I do want to ask you one thing. So, Colorado, as dog shit as I expected, a lot of stuff's been coming out. Or obviously the Sean Lewis thing happened first, and then Dion in the press is saying that like he needs to replace his players to the fucking media and shit. I mean,
He's keeping it real.
yeah, is it keeping it? Yeah, you're also losing the locker room though. Let's keep it
That's
100.
fine because, like you said, have to if he can't you can't lose a locker room if they're not going to be there. He has his core players. He said the fifth after the UCLA game, he's going out and getting a whole new O line.
Yeah, but do you think
So
that was a positive? Like, do you think a coach
of
should be
course,
saying
it's
that?
not positive as far as a head coach saying that to the media. But if he's saying what everybody's thinking or what he knows he has to do, he's just giving them double confirmation. Now, it might not sit well with some kids, but that should light a fire up under your ass if you know you're a D1, if you're a D1 talent and you know that your coach is looking to replace you because you're not performing on the field the way you're supposed to. Then it's a two-way street. Of course, you don't want to be throwing your players under the bus, but at the end of the day, he's paid to do a job to put Colorado in the best position to win. And on top of that, you got to realize that's his son out there playing quarterback too. So he's definitely going to look out for the best interests of his child while he's there. Whether he's coaching them, not coaching them, it just happened in this instance. He is coaching them. And then the beating that Shador took, he left. He didn't make it through the season. And that was a lot of people's concern that the hits gonna keep piling up and he was gonna get hurt. So now that he was knocked out of the last game of the year, you see that they have to upgrade that O line no matter what at all costs.
Well, we knew they had to upgrade the O line before the season even started, though.
Well, it was being masked because they was running the plays were more quick and Shador was avoiding it, but then it just kind of got to a point where people just were sending zero blitzes and just beating up on them, and players can't get open fast enough if you can't at least take a 3-step drop and throw the damn ball. I just think they're gonna be all right. Going to the Big 12 is going to be a big help because you don't have to worry about the defenses aren't as talented or aren't as deep as the Pac-12 because they don't have
and you're losing
athletes that the
two best
has.
teams.
And
you're losing the two best teams in that conference.
Yeah, and you're losing Oklahoma and Texas to
the SEC.
To the SEC. So now instead of having to deal with the Oklahomas and Texas of the world, you got to play the Kansas States and the Kansases and
Kansas is going back to the gutter, dog. I'm telling you right now.
They're probably gonna play Utah. I know the Big 12 still might have an automatic bid to the
the playoffs expanding.
The new playoff expanding, but I think this playoff expansion is just gonna get some teams an extra game that they gonna go out there and get their ass totally whooped because next year, if any team for the Big 12 make the playoff, bro, on a neutral field, they're probably gonna be a 3-touchdown dog.
Probably
to other teams in the playoffs. So it's going, any given Saturday, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. My thing with
I think go ahead.
My thing with Colorado, and like this, we've talked about it a lot. I think that the jump from the SWAC to D1 it's just such a huge jump, and Dion dominated the SWAC because he had a lot more talent than the rest of the teams, and then now that he's up in the D1 level, you're kind of seeing that, and yeah, they beat TCU and they beat Nebraska, but you look back on those two wins and it's man, those weren't very good wins, dude. Those two teams suck in the long run, right? So my concern is you have a guy like Sean Lewis as your offensive coordinator, who is a head coach of Kent State, who was one of the best teams in the MAC, a gifted offensive coordinator, gifted offensive mind, and you rip him of play calling, and you bring in fucking what's his face, who's the dude he brought in to call the offense? Pat.
I can't think of his name.
He used to coach for the Broncos, dude.
Pat Shurmur.
Shurmur, bring in Shurmur, dude, and the shit's just gone completely backwards, dude. And we talked about this when it happened. Why? What was the point of it? Why then? Why in the middle of the week? Why it made zero sense, dude. It made zero sense. And I just think the fun in games, and I said this in the beginning of the year, dude. I was they're having a lot of fun and they're beating everybody's expectations. But what's going to happen when things aren't going the right way? And the best thing that happened to Colorado, to be honest, I'm going to keep it a buck, dude, is the Michigan thing. Because if the media wasn't so focused on what's going on with Michigan and the fucking sign stealing situation, I guarantee you they would be fucking hammering Colorado, dude. I mean, Colorado was a team that ESPN, Fox, for the first 4 weeks, they were at their university. All eyes were on Colorado. And then they just started losing. And everybody lost focus on Colorado. And then the Michigan things happened. And that was always my concern with Dion as a head coach of Colorado. Not necessarily long run, but this year, is what's going to happen when you're not good. Things are great when you're good. We saw it last year with USC. Things were great. Lincoln Riley's him. He's God. You know what I mean? Now he's struggling. It's like, what's going on? And to be honest, as a USC fan, my biggest concern about Lincoln Riley is that his press conferences are worse than fucking Clay Helton's. You know,
all except for the last one. He actually
it took him 5 losses to actually fucking be like, yeah, okay.
It took him responsibility. And even though it is 5 losses, 4 of those 5 games easily could have been wins. Only games that they really just went out there and got their asses handed to them was UCLA and Notre Dame.
Yeah, but your 2 rivals. Those are the worst 2 games to get your hand.
It's gonna look a lot worse than it really is. Honestly, I just think once he hires a DC and gets settled in and focuses on recruiting and gets more talent, I think that O-line is gonna look totally different next year outside of a couple guys.
For sure.
The running back rotation got to get better.
We don't run the ball.
Like I said, he got to take a long look in the mirror and he got to adjust big time how he runs his program. He said it, so he still got my full support. I still think he's a top 5 coach in America. So we'll see how it works out.
I wish I felt the same as you. I think he's a good coach. I don't know about top 5.
One bad year doesn't erase what type of coach he is.
Yeah, but I think that he was so like egotistical about himself, like especially after turning USC around in 1 year. He was like, I could do anything, like I'm God's gift to the planet Earth of football. And I think this year definitely humbled him, and if it didn't humble him, then we definitely got some problems for sure. However, I do think that like I think after last year he was like, oh man, I'm cush, dude. I'm out here living in Manhattan Beach, bro, in a fucking $10 million fucking casa on the fucking beach and shit. And now I think he's kind of feeling
he lives in Palos Verdes. He doesn't live in Manhattan Beach.
Wherever the fuck he lives. You know he lives in a nice ass crib.
Manhattan Beach is a little below his tax bracket.
Hey, that's where Pete Carroll lived when he was head coach of USC.
Pete Carroll was making $7 million. Lincoln's probably damn near doubling what he made. So,
man, what are you talking about? Manhattan Beach is gorgeous, bro.
I'm not saying it's not, but it's not Palos Verdes.
True. But my point is that like I think now he's kind of realizing like, holy shit, like there is expectations. You know what I mean? And like, while I did what I did, he
knows the expectations. He just had one bad year. I understand fans are gonna blow it out of proportion.
It's not even fans though, Irv. It's more than fans.
He ain't the guy we thought he was, but man, it's Lincoln fucking Riley. He had a bad year. I guarantee that this team is not gonna look nowhere near the way it looked this year. And on top of that, you got to factor in, even if his offenses did take a step back, which it clearly did, it's still a damn good offense. I think the main problem this year was Caleb fell in love with the big play and he wasn't taking what defenses gave him. And on top of that, when he faced the better teams with more talent, he didn't have as much time in the pocket to make those plays that he was accustomed to making. So
we also didn't run the ball.
And another thing Lincoln Riley has to do, which I don't know why he's gotten away from it more since he left Oklahoma, is he has to run the ball more. His offenses work best and they're most elite when he runs the ball.
We averaged 9 yards a carry versus Washington, and we only ran the ball 11 times, dude.
But I understand why we only ran the ball 11 times, because we was trailing the whole damn game. We was playing catch up.
Dude, it was a 1-score game the whole game until the very end when Caleb fucking.
Yeah, but you're still trying to. You got to match that quarterback on the other side, and That game was a quarterback duel. That's pretty much what that game was.
And we had the better
And outside
quarterback,
of
and the quarterback on the other side has one of the lowest completion percentages under pressure, and our defensive coordinator didn't fucking throw a single blitz.
that's on Alex Grinch.
That's why he got
That's
fired.
why he.
That game is why
That's
he
why
got
he's
fired.
currently unemployed.
That game is legit why he got fired because everybody on Twitter pointed it out. Literally, Michael Penix Jr., 48% completion percentage under pressure, and you throw 3 men fucking. Oh my god, dude! What a piece of shit!
Pretty much the whole game.
What a piece of shit! All right, let's move on to NFL because that's why we're here tonight. We're gonna recap. We're gonna start with Irv's Broncos and the Vikings, or should we start with Joe Burrow first?
We can start with Joe Burrow. It sucks. They
Bengals are
lost.
basically cooked.
And on top of that, they lost. They lost the face of their franchise. So, where do they go from here? Oh, and the Browns signed Joe Flacco tonight.
Yeah, because they watched Dorius Thompson Robinson barely be able to complete a forward pass today, dude.
Damn.
We'll get to them later. All right, let's start with the. So I agree with you as far as the Bengals are concerned. Like the Bengals losing Joe Burrow is fucking huge. Jake Browning did look decent. I still stand by the Baltimore Ravens, in my opinion, are the best team in the NFL. I do believe that, top to bottom. So I'm gonna continue to stand by that until further notice.
Jake Brown got a noodle arm though, man.
Yeah, he doesn't have the best arm, but I mean the Bengals are fucked, dude. They're not gonna, dude. That division's too good, bro.
Yeah, and on top of that, they got a lot of injuries right now too.
Yeah, that division is way too. You have the Ravens, the Browns, even with Dorius Thompson Robinson, are like that defense is so good. Like they're always gonna keep you in games.
That defense is no joke.
It's probably the best defense in the league. But
yeah, shout out to the Niners, but yeah,
nah, the Niners aren't as good as the Browns. Browns have a good secondary. The Niners don't have that.
Yeah, and they just lost Talanoa for the season, so gonna be some tough sledding.
That's tough, dude. Who's gonna get the pick the tip pass INTs, dude? If he doesn't get them, that man leads the league in fucking tipped INTs, dude. If you took away tipped INTs, that dude would have like nothing. And I love Huffenegger, dude. He went to USC, but that dude is the luckiest fucking DB I've ever seen in my life in the NFL, dude.
Who did you say his name was?
Hufanga.
Yeah, he said Huffenegger.
I said Huffenegger first. Hufanga. He's the luckiest fucking DB I've ever seen at the NFL level, dog. He'd be mid without the interceptions, and like, dude, that dude gets a lot of tipped interceptions. A lot of them. Which is, I mean, like, it's part of the game, but he reminds me a lot of Jamal Adams. He leaves a lot to be desired in coverage. He's a great fucking like pass rusher, but in today's NFL, you don't really need a pass rushing safety. But I'll always root for my Trojans, man. Truly will. Anyways, Vikings at Denver. Denver closes 2.5-point favorites tonight. Irv, total was under 43. Total goes under thanks to a missed 2-point conversion by your Denver Broncos. Well, we could put a lot of it on the Broncos, and they don't cover the 2.5. Thank you very much for someone that had the Broncos. What was your takeaway from this game? Because you're a Broncos fan, obviously, and like, you know, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, actually a few weeks ago, and I was the one that was like, dude, I think the Broncos can actually make the playoffs. I was that guy. And here they are. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Bills. I mean, and then against the Vikings and Josh Dobbs, like all of a sudden they like regressed back to what they were in the beginning of the year.
I think it was more the fact that they finally have some expectations. Clearly, they should have won this game by multiple scores. Penalties, just not being able to finish drives in the red zone. That's going to get you beat versus good teams. And the reason why we didn't lose tonight is because the other team quarterback and the running back had some key turnovers that helped us win the game. But that last drive from Russ, that was vintage Russell Wilson right there. So
It really was.
I got to give Sean Payton his props. It started off rocky.
That was the
Now you see
worst
why.
2-point conversion play call I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
called a
yeah,
timeout for
I
that
don't, yeah,
shit.
yeah. I don't know what the hell that was. That was just terrible. But outside of that 2-point conversion call, he's starting to prove why he's $100 million coach. And this team just need to keep adding more talent. And the O line's been fixed. Honestly, I still would want to. I would still want a left guard, honestly, because our left guard is just not that good. Our right guard is looking elite, but I think we need a left guard, and we'll be all right. And probably another wide receiver because Tim Patrick can't stay healthy. But
Yeah.
Mims is starting to step up and
And
fulfill
Judy
that role as
sucks.
a third wideout. And Judy got to stop just dropping the damn ball.
He's not good,
Even
dude.
though that D, even though that DB did grab his arm, it was a ticky. They wasn't gonna call that. It
Yeah,
was a
they're not gonna
ticky
call
tack
that.
play. You got to catch that damn ball, bro.
Yeah. If you're a good wide receiver, you gotta catch that, bro. Shout out to Cortland Sutton on his own team, dude. He had a play where the DB's like hanging onto him with both hands, and he fucking caught the ball.
He caught it with one hand.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know, there's levels in the NFL, dude. I agree with you. Like the Broncos should have won this game by multiple scores. Like this shouldn't have been as close as it was. Penalties held them back. A lot has, and honestly, I agree with you about Sean Payton. Like when you get blown out 70 to whatever the fuck the score was, 70 to 21.
20.
Yeah, like you could very well lose an entire fucking locker room, and he hasn't, dude. Like they've turned it around, and so like hats off to Sean Payton, for that. You know, I think him talking about, what's his face, Nathaniel Hackett. I think all that talk before the season, I think that kind of hurt him a little bit, especially starting off slow. But the locker room has bought into him. I definitely think this is a playoff caliber team, dude. Like this is a team that is better than Chargers. They're better than the Raiders. The only team they're not better than in their division is the fucking Chiefs. And they beat the Chiefs. They were due to beat the Chiefs. But like this is a team that can make the playoffs. Like they have a legit defense. They have a very legit secondary, dude. They have one of the best secondaries in football. Simmons and PS2. And it's like, as long as they stay away from the dumbass mistakes, like this team could beat anybody, basically, in my opinion. And I think,
Shout out Riley.
yeah, and they're starting to show it. And as far as Minnesota, I think the Josh Dobbs, the magic's wearing out, dude. Like I saw this with Arizona. He was great the first 3 games, then shit kind of faded. I think the dude's a legit backup quarterback, dude. I think he's probably the best backup quarterback in football. But the best backup quarterback in football, you're not asking to win 6 games a year. You're asking him to win 3. You know what I mean? So I think with that being said, I think the Broncos, especially with the Bengals being hurt and everything going on in the AFC East, I think the Broncos are a legit contender to make the playoffs, dude. I think they can make the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Their schedule is not too difficult.
You got to beat the Raiders, though, dude. And the Raiders own y'all.
Yeah, I know, dog. We got to get that monkey off our back. Got to beat them.
You got the Chiefs off your
Sorry,
back,
man.
though.
Yeah, we got the Chiefs off our back. Now we got to get that sorry ass stench of the East Bay, formerly of the East Bay Pirates. Now they the Las Vegas Scandaliers, aka Raiders.
The Scandaliers.
Dog shit franchise across the board.
Yep.
There's only a couple players that I respect that ever suited up for that team. Shout out to Charles Woodson.
Great.
But yeah,
Tim Brown.
we got to get that monkey off. Yeah, Tim Brown too. We got to get that monkey off our back and beat that dog shit franchise, man.
Yeah, no, I like the Broncos going forward, dude. I definitely think you guys are the best.
Shout out to them. We got to free Devontae Adams. I don't know what it's going to take, man, but we got to get him out that sorry ass silver and black.
Yeah. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, though. Holy shit, San Diego State went into fucking OT, bro.
Damn. But that shit went way over. It's in the
Oh,
nineties now,
it's in like
probably.
the 200s, dog. We cook, dude. Islanders cooked. All right, let's move on to the next game. We had the New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo was laying 8.5. The total was 39.5. Total goes under. Buffalo wins 32-6. My biggest takeaway from this game, dude, Irv, is that Robert Saleh continues to come out and just say Zach Wilson's the guy, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, this is way too many losses in a row. They should have beat the Raiders. It's just and I think the defense is going to give up again, dude. I think we were fooled by Zach Wilson against the Chiefs. Like, he looked like, oh my God, like that's the Zach Wilson we saw at BYU. And now it's just like not the same. Today he was what was he today? 7 of 15, 81 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. What was your thoughts? What's your takeaway from this game and these teams?
Yeah, I think Robert Saleh has to stop showing him and Nathaniel Hackett both got to stop showing so much faith in Wilson. Just the dude can clearly just not get the job done. Um, Carson Wentz, shit. Even Joe Flacco looked it better when he in his backup spot duty as the Jets backup. You should bring in a vet that knows that offense and see
They have Simeon.
what he can. Yeah, throw Trevor Simeon out there or something because his defense is too good to just be wasting the year of having all that talent on that side of the ball, and you're still in the hunt even after this with all this dog shit QB play. It kind of remind me of the Broncos right after Peyton left. Elite defense and offense just can't muster up enough to help to win games, and they're doing just enough to keep you in games till the end of the game. So they got to fix that ASAP, man. And I know this offseason, I think they might have a good amount of draft capital. Honestly, I would just pay Aaron Rodgers to walk off into the sunset and just get me a young up and coming QB somehow, some way. Because paying him 40, 50 something $1 million is not going to be advantageous to you winning, knowing that he could go out at any moment because he's getting older and injuries are starting to pile up more and more with him. So we'll see.
I think you nailed it, dude. Like, I think this team needs a quarterback. And I think, we don't know what Rodgers is going to be when he comes back. He's old, coming back from an Achilles, and I think he's trying to rush himself back.
Yep.
And at this point, I don't know if he's going to rush himself back. Like, I don't think the Jets have a shot at making the playoffs, to be honest. But yeah, dude, I think you hit the nail on the head about the Jets, dude. I think Salah's gone too at the end of the year. I think him.
I think he's gonna get one more year. I think Salah gets one more year.
I don't,
Honestly,
dude. Irv, I think him doubling down
Because
on
of the
Zach
injury.
Wilson is gonna cost him his job, dude.
Nah, because of the injuries and plus that could cost him. I wouldn't be shocked if it did, but that ownership and that front office is 100% behind this dude. So
Yeah,
I think he gets one more year.
I think he's a great defensive mind, dude. I don't know if he's a great head coach, and him continuously saying like oh, I think Zach Wilson is like he can get it done. It's like he hasn't, dude. Like, we're seeing everything, dude. Like, you think we're blind? I don't know. So in that aspect, like I just think like ownership at that point, and I think Salah in the same respect as Brandon Staley is kind of just like a dead man walking, and they're kind of just saying shit to try and like, I don't know. Zach Wilson ain't it though,
Yeah, they definitely gotta
and the
hopefully
offensive
get
line
away from
sucks
Zach
too.
Wilson ASAP.
For
Yeah,
that
they
matter.
gotta build that offensive line too.
Yeah, it's all bad. It's all bad.
Any injuries, that O line goes downhill.
O line without injuries was bad. With
Yeah,
injuries,
that's
even
true.
worse. All right. Seattle at LA Rams. Rams closed 1.5 point favorites. So if you took the Rams -1.5, like I took the Broncos -2.5, you're a loser. Total was 45.5. I was actually on the under in this game. Total went way under, 17-16. The Rams win. Almost fucking blew it. but Jake Myers can't fucking kick a field goal. So that was awesome. Well, if you're a Rams backer, that was awesome. But what did you think? What did you think about this game, man? Because Seattle Seahawks, we keep talking about it. Geno Smith is he's Jekyll and Hyde. We don't know what to really take from the fucking Seahawks and shit. Like, they're whatever.
I think the Seahawks fucked up, man.
How so?
They should have traded up, probably mortgaged 1 or 2 more first round picks, and got C.J. Stroud. Because now they're pretty much stuck in QB purgatory with Geno. They signed him to a 3-year deal. Clearly, they have the talent on the defensive side of the ball. The offensive line is taking a step back. We just got to see what they could be going forward. But I'm not surprised at this regression, honestly, because I knew Geno Smith wasn't it. Now they're gonna have to find a quarterback a lot sooner than later, and we all know Drew Lock ain't it. So
yeah, I think Drew Lock's better than Geno Smith, though.
Well, hopefully, you won't be able to find that out, especially after giving Geno that type of contract they gave him. Shit, they gave him pretty much top 10 QB money. So
yeah, no, they're fucked. They are,
and I think his deal is guaranteed for the next 2-3 years, totally guaranteed.
Yeah, I think so.
Or this year and next year is fully guaranteed.
No, it's pretty much like it's not a good. It might be a good deal for like the next 1 or 2 years, but the point is like they don't have a fucking succession plan in place. Maybe this year is the year they do that, but yeah, it's
this year's draft and next year's draft. They got to get a QB because if they don't, they finna be in the shitter for real.
The other problem too, Herb, is that Pete Carroll's getting older, so it's like he's not gonna be there much longer. So I that's the thing is like I never understood this whole plan from Seattle, and I think them kind of overperforming a little bit last year, kind of like, hid a lot of things, like kind of gave them a mirage of what the future could be, or maybe sped up the timeline a little bit. But I mean, this team, like, they're not very good. They got good skill players, but dude, how do you have Jackson Smith-Njigba, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Zach Charbonnet, Walker, and you're just like average.
I can't catch the cold.
Oh yeah, Noah Fant. You're just average offensively, dude. Average.
It's not a good look, brother. Not a good look. But shout out to the Pacific Northwest. At least y'all got Washington to hold on to for the next couple of weeks.
That shit's gonna be cooked soon too. All right, next game we got Tampa Bay at San Francisco 49ers. This game closed 13.5. The total was 42.5. The final score was 27-14. Total goes under, and if you got Tampa Bay 13.5, you covered. If you got Niners minus 11.5, you covered Niners. What's your thoughts about the Niners? Brock Purdy 21-25, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns. Brock Purdy looks really good when everything's in place, but when it's not, he's mid.
He's Glock Purdy right now. A lot of people saying he's front runner for the MVP and he's best QB in the NFL. So we'll see if he can keep it up.
Bruh, he's mid, bro.
Yeah, he is mid, but when all those parts are working, he can be mid and still win them a lot of fucking football games.
My thing with the Niners is it still persists as it did last year. Is like, okay, when you're up and everything's going good, everything's great. But what happens when you're trailing in the fourth quarter?
You got to depend on Brock Purdy to make plays, and we go see if he can do it.
Kyle Shanahan's like 0-17 in his last games trailing in the fourth quarter.
Whew. Definitely got to get that monkey off his back.
This team ain't built to play from behind, and that's my issue with them. Is like, I know the Eagles could play from behind, right, in the NFC, and so I'm gonna take the Eagles over the Niners in that aspect because I know the Niners have to get out ahead, And I think the best thing for the Niners, like, not the best thing, but the Niners continue, they just like compound on their strengths, dude. So like they get Chase Young, right? Yeah, great trade, but he doesn't fix your issues when you're trailing from behind, because if you're trailing from behind, the team's gonna run the ball. Chase Young,
they did their best to try to get a Dory Jackson.
they tried, but it didn't work.
Dumbass Giants put the trade in too late. But honestly, yeah, like you said, the Eagles can play from behind, but I think that's really the only team in NFC that could give them trouble, because Dak is prone
The
to turning the
Lions.
ball over. The Lions look like frauds, man.
Lions are not frauds. And they're the next game we're going to talk about. The Lions are not frauds. Bro, the Lions are legit, Irv. They have a great offensive line, a great defensive line.
Yeah, but Jared Goff looked terrible today.
He did, but that's one game.
And that was against the Bears defense.
Doesn't
defense
matter,
that
dude.
We know it's not good.
He's looked great against good defenses.
What good defense he looked great against this year?
The Chiefs. Chiefs are a top 3 defense this year, dude. They're not the Chiefs of the old age. They're
historically, we know that defense can be had.
But this year, they're not this year's Chiefs team is a defensive first team, dude.
Okay, but you need to look at the big picture. They don't have to worry about the Chiefs till the Super Bowl. They got to worry about.
So I'll say this, Irv.
Three out of the top 5 defenses is in their conference, and it's a great chance they got to play 2 of those teams to get to the Super Bowl.
I'll say this about the Lions. I think the Lions are up there with the Niners and Eagles for sure. They're definitely in that top 3 in the NFC. Cannot be denied. But I'll say this about
them over the Cowboys after what you saw today.
The Cowboys played the Panthers.
I'm just saying, ever since that Niners lost, they've been looking better and better.
Cowboys have Dak. That's my problem.
Yeah, you can't trust Dak in the postseason, but
I trust Goff over Dak, and that tells you a lot of things.
Can you trust Jared Goff in the postseason?
I trust Goff over Dak.
All right, okay, I will argue that.
Because my thing is like the Lions could very well get the number 1 seed or 2 seed because of their schedule. So if they have a majority of home games, like if I get Detroit at home against Dallas, like I'm gonna take Detroit, right? But this is my thing, dude. Regardless of San Francisco, Detroit, Eagles, Cowboys, spin it any way you want. Like I don't think the Eagles have looked that great either. I think the Eagles have been they've left a lot to be desired, right?
They haven't looked great, but they looked really good against the Cowboys. Even though the Cowboys
should have won that game, dude.
Yeah. Dak is the reason why they lost the game, but
that and Schoonmaker fucking missing the goal line by a fucking half an inch.
Yeah, so I get it, but I don't know, man. I didn't like the way the Lions played today, and they were at home.
I mean, yeah, but it's a division game. Like, it is what it is, dude. It's one game.
I understand it's a division game, but we know the Bears aren't.
The fact they came back from down 12 with like 7 minutes left and won the game, dude. That is impressive, bro. I don't care who you play in the NFL. That's impressive.
That's impressive, but a game like this could be a forewarning that this team ain't what we think they'd be. Or it might not be what we think they could be.
Well, they're definitely probably like a quarterback away from being a great team. Like if they had a great quarterback, they would be Super Bowl favorites. If they had Jalen Hurts, they'd be Super Bowl favorites.
I agree.
You know what I mean? But my biggest takeaway from the NFL this year, Irv, is that the Chiefs, for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career, they have a great defense, and their offense is mid. It's like we're talking about a Patrick Mahomes-led offense, and we're like, this offense ain't that good. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, they need another receiver for sure.
They're being carried by that defense. We're gonna get to the Chiefs momentarily. All right, we just talked about the Niners, right? Lions. Talk about
Yeah,
Lions.
this is the Lions and the Bears.
All right, now's where things get great. Giants at Commanders. Danny DeVito at quarterback. Or Tommy DeVito, my bad. Tommy DeVito. 18-26, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Bruh.
Yeah, somebody.
How does Ron
somebody on
Rivera
Twitter
have a
said-
job, Irv?
Yeah, somebody on Twitter said his mom must have made his bed extra special this week. So, um, uh, Tommy DeVito, you should never divulge that information to the public.
Yeah.
Now you'll forever be clowned for that, good or bad. But Ron Rivera, you got to pack him the fuck up, Commanders.
Yep.
I don't know how a team looks more unprepared to play a division opponent outside of the Eagles than this team. It's mind-boggling.
Yep.
The damn Giants could barely get points, a first down across midfield, and when they come out and play the Commanders, they look like world beaters. It's crazy.
Dable owns the fucking commies, dude.
Yeah, it is horrible.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, you know, I tweeted out earlier, like, if this game doesn't get Ron Rivera fired, like, I don't know what does, dude. Like, the fact that, like, he still hasn't been fired is shocking.
It would have
to
to
me,
come
dude.
out that he's being a counter agent with the fucking KFB or some type of organization that's against the U.S. because he got to get arrested for being a
treason, dude. Yeah, no, this is
treason.
no,
To get fired in the nation's capital.
It's crazy, bro. Like he has to go, bro. Like there's
him and Jack Del Rio. I don't know how they still have jobs.
If I was a Commanders owner, I would have fired him immediately after that game. Like, you're gone, dude. You cannot come back here. Like,
don't even come in the locker room. We gonna mail. We'll drop your shit off at your house.
Yep. Sayonara, dude.
You out of here,
dude. That's absolutely insanity, bro.
Don't they call it Black Monday in the NFL?
Yeah, on the last day of the year, but like he should be fired tonight. He should have already been fired. Today,
it's gonna be a lot of jobs opening up.
I agree. I agree.
At least 7 or 8.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to this next game. Dallas at Carolina. Dallas closed 10.5, 11-point favorites. The total is 43.5. Dallas wins 33-10. Bryce Young, dude. Irv, I know Carolina's not good, but Bryce Young does not look good, bro.
I understand.
Kyler looked a lot better as a rookie than Bryce did.
I understand. He played in elite defense today. He had 3 interceptions, 1 pick 6.
No, he only had 1 interception.
He only threw 1? I thought he threw 3, but my bad.
No, he had a couple. He had a fumble.
Okay, he had a fumble. Okay, he had 2 turnovers. I thought it was 2 interceptions.
Yeah, 1 fumble, one pick. Because one of the interceptions they actually called back.
Okay. They gotta get him some talent. I'm sorry, man. And
I agree, but he don't look good, bro.
Look how CJ is performing, and rightfully so. He's looking like damn near a top 5. He's playing like a top 5 quarterback right now. Shit, he could probably be in a conversation for MVP. Yep. Honestly, of the whole damn league. That's how good he's playing right now. You ain't seen a rookie play this good in I don't know how long. We got
his worst game today, though.
And see. Because not even Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, no rookie in my lifetime has come into the NFL and looked like this to begin his career. Ever.
But Bryce doesn't look good, dude. He can't even throw it flat, dog.
Yeah, but when Adam Thielen is your number 1 wide receiver,
but regardless, dude, he can't throw to the flat, bro.
Sledding.
He can't throw to the flat.
It's tough sledding. That O line, those weapons. You got to give Bryce at least 2 or 3 years, honestly, until they build some talent around him.
The worst part about the Carolina situation is the fact that Frank Reich wanted CJ Stroud.
Yeah. But management and GMs make those kind of decisions, and coaches are paid to coach players. And at the end of the day, if you don't have a guy that you think fits your system, you got to tailor your system to that guy. Not saying Frank Reich isn't doing that for Bryce. It's just it's just a mismatch out there, man. They honestly they need three or four offensive linemen outside of Icky. The rest of them linemen got to go, bro.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
center's okay, but every other position outside of the left tackle,
offensive linemen,
is not.
offensive line's trash. The skilled players are they're not that good. I 100% agree, but
Yeah, Bryce is
Bryce doesn't look good either.
yeah, it's gonna be he's not gonna look good because nothing his functional parts is not up to par. I just think he needs time. The light
But
comes
I just
on.
want to see I just want to see a flash of something, dude, and I haven't even got that. Like
Well,
he just doesn't look good.
He had a couple
Period,
flashes.
bro. Andy
He had a
Dalton
couple
looked
flashes.
way better than he's looked all year with that team.
Well, Andy Dalton is a seasoned vet. He
But
knows
he
his
played
way
with that
around,
team. He looked
he
way
knows
better
his way
than
around a
Bryce
terrible
Young has.
offense, but it's just not clicking right now for Bryce. Not saying it won't. I just think he just need a massive upgrade everywhere. His situation is
He's like
reminding me of Justin Fields' situation coming into the
he's
league.
Brock Purdy in my opinion. Right now, like we keep making these excuses, like he needs all this, just like Brock Purdy does. And that's my thing is like Andy Dalton with that same team.
I wouldn't say.
But this is the thing,
I wouldn't say. I don't
I
think it's excuses. It's just legitimate. It's
it
legitimate
is.
arguments.
It is. It
He
is.
has nothing around him that could help him win.
But we could say the same thing with Brock Purdy without Trent Williams and Debo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey. We could be like, oh well, he
Yeah,
needs
but
this.
but Brock Purdy was damn near Mr. Irrelevant. We're talking about a number one overall pick.
Right. But my point still stands is like Dalton, this team with Dalton averaged they had 400 yards in that game with him at quarterback.
Who did they play?
The Seahawks.
And what is the Seahawks defense?
What did the Panthers do against the Bears?
Complete ass.
What did the Panthers do against the Bears?
A Bears defense, you said, been playing pretty damn good the last 4 or 5 weeks. So don't try to not give them credit now.
I agree, but dude, Bryce Young does not look that good, dude. It looks
That's
like
fine. And I'm not saying he does. He does. I'm not saying he don't.
And I'm not saying that he's gonna be dog shit or anything. I'm just saying he doesn't look good.
I'm not gonna be able to judge his talent or what he can do on the field until he has a capable, functional offense around him.
And it also doesn't look good that fucking CJ Stroud is MVP level, dude. He got drafted after him. And that's
CJ
also
Stroud
a
went to
mental
way
thing
better
too.
situation.
Is like he's always gonna have that in the back of his head, like, CJ was in my draft class.
Well, that's fine. They was being compared to each other since high school, so it is what it is. I just think Bryce is gonna be I think Bryce is gonna be a good quarterback when things around him get better.
I think he's mid.
We'll see.
I thought he was gonna be a lot better than he has been. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We also thought he was gonna have DJ Moore and a couple other guys, but he don't have them right now. So
well, no, he got traded for DJ Moore, basically.
that's what I'm saying. But we didn't know that. We didn't think that Chicago was gonna include DJ Moore in that trade. They did because they wasn't going. Well, man, we didn't think Carolina was going to include DJ Moore in that trade, but they did because they wasn't going to pay him. So there you have it.
Yeah. One quarterback I'm confident in saying that he might be better than is Kenny Pickett of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh went to Cleveland today. Cleveland minus 2.5 point favorites. Total was 34. Cleveland covers. Total goes under. I mean, this was a dog shit fucking game. Anybody that watched this game like I did fucking took years off your fucking life watching some fucking shitty football, dude. Talk about shitty fucking football, dude. We might as well watch Iowa versus Nebraska next week. That's how fucking dog shit this game was. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I'm sorry, bro. Like, UCLA sucks, dude. He matches it pretty clearly. He was terrible, bro. Like, if they probably played PJ Walker, they probably win this game by like 30 points. Not 30, but they win this game pretty handily if they played PJ Walker.
Mm.
I didn't know why they didn't replace him, dude. Like, Dorian Thompson-Robinson could not move the fucking football, Irv. That's how good Cleveland's defense is.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Kenny Pickett fucking sucks. That dude.
Yeah.
Without the fake
OC
slide, he's
doesn't do him any favors, but yeah, Kenny Pickett's just not a good quarterback.
Nah, at all. He has no pocket awareness, cannot read the fucking defense. On the flip side, like I don't know how they keep handing the ball off to Najee Harris. Jalen Warren had 9 carries for 129 yards, and still Najee Harris has more carries than him.
Yeah, they Matt Canada should be fired right now, honestly. And I think Mike Tomlin made a mistake by bringing that dude back.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, dude, Pickett sucks, dude. Like they definitely need to draft a quarterback.
But his coaching does him no favors.
Pittsburgh really
that last throw that was horrible.
Yeah, but he's not good though, Irv.
That's one of the worst throws I've seen in my life. I mean, even the defense wasn't around that ball, so that's how you know how bad.
Bro, and like
bad that was.
Pittsburgh drafted him because like he went to Pitt, and it was like, dude, they hella reach for him, bro. Like
I said, they passed up on Dan Marino. They couldn't pass up on Kenny Pickett, bro.
Yeah, because if you, yeah, Kenny Pickett.
Damn.
Tennessee at Jacksonville. Jacksonville wins 34-13 or 34-14. Jacksonville closed 6.5 point favorites. Total was 40. Goes over. Jacksonville big bounce back after that loss against the Niners last week. Any takeaways from this one?
No, T-Law looks like the quarterback. I know he is. Jackson. They played Tennessee, right?
Yep.
Tennessee might need an overhaul. I wouldn't say get rid of Variable, but they got to get rid of everybody else on that staff, and definitely got to upgrade some talent. And they need Levis ain't looking too good, but he's a rookie. I think you got to put more around him.
Levis went 13 to 17, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I know what I'm just saying. He don't look like he looked that first game. So, and one of those 2 touchdowns in garbage time.
Well, I mean, like the game was in garbage time in like the first half, dude. It was like already.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, okay, he threw 2 touchdowns, but did they really make a difference? No, they didn't. They helped the overhit. Probably.
Honestly,
that's about it.
If I'm Vrabel, like, I would want to get fired because I would want to go to a better situation, like the Chargers, for example, which is going to open up.
So it makes sense. But yeah, will they get rid of Vrabel? Maybe, maybe not. But
no,
yeah. If they get rid of Vrabel, they could rehire Arthur Smith. Good luck with that.
So here, I've heard some conspiracies or some theories that Vrabel could be the next coach of the New England Patriots,
and
that the Patriots could actually trade for Mike Vrabel.
Damn. Well, will be the first time in history something like that has happened.
So that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, the Titans just suck, dude. Without Vrabel, I mean, that team is like fucking probably the worst team in the league. That dude's a hell of a coach. Let's move on to the next game. Possibly Mike Vrabel's next team, the Chargers at the Packers. Packers closed 3-point dogs. Total was 44. Total goes under. Packers win 23-20. My man Jordan Love looked good today. 27 of 43 and 22 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 INTs.
Best game of his career, huh?
No, that was against the Bears.
Okay.
But Brandon Staley, dude, this dude just continuously dog shit. Just a dog shit coach, bro.
Yeah, he's getting fired. He could pack his ass up.
He's definitely getting fired, dude. The Chargers there's no way they make the fucking playoffs at this point.
Yeah.
0 chance. They're in the last place in the AFC West. That's insane, dude. That is insane. Let's talk about the Chargers. And you have Justin Herbert. They did have 2 drop touchdown passes.
It's a bad look for them to be last 2 because they have a legit top 4, 5, 3 QB in the NFL.
Yeah. Depending on how you want to look at it, yeah, I agree. They have not been good. They got to figure shit out. And I think that
And Brandon
starts with.
Staley is to blame because, like you said, I'm going to continue to call the defense. You can stop asking me those questions.
Because stop
I will
asking me.
call the defense. I will call the defense for this team.
So stop asking me
you're
questions.
yeah, and you calling the defense is the reason why your team continues to lose.
Dog shit.
You know, some of these coaches, man, they just overthink shit, man. They just need to learn how to simplify things. If you're a head coach, especially a head coach in the NFL, now I understand having, input on the game plan, making sure you're, tailoring your game plan right and doing the things you need to do to have the best advantages and matchups on that against that given opponent. But if you're clearly not up to snuff and you're not performing at the level you was when you were a coordinator, you gotta decipher that responsibility to somebody you can trust. And if you see them lacking, maybe you could help them pick up the pieces because him right now calling that defense, I don't even think those players are responding to him, bro, because it's just not. It's getting worse and worse every week.
Yep. And he's like, he keeps saying like, oh, we're getting pressure. We're doing this. We're doing that. It's just not working. Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
and you're calling the defense, dude. So what is not exactly working, dude? And what needs to be fixed? And I've said for 2 years, dude, Brandon Staley's in over his head. He should have been fired 2 years ago. And I think it definitely happens this year.
Yeah, because there's gonna be too many good head coaches available to replace him with, and you could just keep the ball rolling. Because I'm gonna be honest, man, the Chargers have the talent to be a Super Bowl contender across the board,
and they have
damn
for
good
years, dude.
Yeah, damn good secondary. The O line has improved by leaps and bounds. They got even with the injuries, they still got good enough skilled players to still complete and beat anyone on any given Sunday because who they have back there at quarterback. And you can't keep letting these opportunities pass you up because you got a dog shit head coach that doesn't know he's in over his head and he needs to decipher and disconcern so much of his responsibility on the defensive end being a head coach to somebody else, and that will probably make things a lot better. So if he can't understand that, then you got to pack his ass up, honestly, because it's only so long you're gonna have a Justin Herbert. It's only so long you're gonna have a Joey Bosa, and these players are one is already in their prime. Herbert's gonna be entering his prime pretty soon. He got that deal, that extension. So if you Dean Spanos, you got to maximize what you got, man. You can't have another repeat of the early and mid 2000s because easily that's probably one of the teams, a top 4, top 3 teams with that coach or that run that they had that didn't win a Super Bowl. Because
the problem with the Chargers in that era is that they fired Marty Schottenheimer for some stupid ass reason.
Now they hold on to a guy that's nowhere near a Marty Schottenheimer, and he's continue to cost you chances at a championship year in and year out, just based off his dumbass decisions.
100% agree.
But shout out to him though. At least he didn't go for it in his own end of the field, and it didn't cost him a game for once.
That's a first. All right, let's move on to the next game. We had the Raiders at the Dolphins. Dolphins closed 14-point favorites. I honestly thought the Dolphins were going to run away with this game.
Me too.
The Raiders end up covering. The Dolphins only win by 7. Total goes under 44. And Aiden O'Connell, he threw 3 interceptions, 24-41, 271 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The Raiders, in my opinion, I think the Antonio Pierce, the honeymoon's going to end very quickly. I thought it was going to really end here. I honestly thought the Dolphins were going to beat the fucking brakes off the Raiders, but Dolphins really struggled. And honestly, my biggest takeaway from this game is that Miami, when you get pressure on Tua, dude, he sucks, bro. He's not good. And I think it's a big reason why the Dolphins struggle against good teams is because good teams have talented defenses that get to Tua, and I don't think Tua's that good, dude. I think Tua's a very average quarterback. And honestly, to put this in perspective, I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to be the next Tua. Like, I think he's going to be great when he has time and not under pressure. But once you get under pressure and into his grill, not good quarterbacks, dude. And Tua's that.
He's going to be a good rhythm player.
Yep. And Tua's that guy, dude. Every time he plays a good team, bro. This is why the Dolphins suck against good teams. And the Raiders, the one good thing about that team is their pass rush. That's it. And they were able to disrupt Tua, and that basically kept him in the game, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. What's the name does have them playing hard and playing a little bit over their head because they're motivated to play for a coach that actually can communicate and get the best out of his players.
Yeah.
Shout out to them dog shit Raiders though, man. Nobody does it like you. When it comes to being a snake bitten ass franchise. Oh man, I don't know. I just never have nothing good to say about this team, even if they are doing good. But
We know.
free Devontae Adams. Aiden O'Connell has some talent. It's just dude has to just learn how to get rid of the ball when it's time to get rid of it.
I mean, that's a rookie's always the rookie problem.
Yeah, he's a young quarterback, so I think that'll come with time. I don't know if they're gonna give him the keys to the franchise because they got to figure out who's gonna be their next coach, who's gonna be their GM, all that good stuff. Now, the one thing is though, if Antonio Pierce continues to somehow win games, remember Rich Bisaccia got them to the playoffs after they fired Gruden. So are they going to let him walk if he is able to keep them anywhere near playoff contention? That'll be a good thing to look into. But I think it's going to be too many candidates out there for them to keep Antonio Pierce. They might keep him as in some type of role, hopefully with the new coach, because the players in the locker room love him. You don't want to lose a guy like that. Yep. But we'll see how it shakes out. I just think the Raiders, they should have just tore it all down and rebuild when they fired John Gruden. They shouldn't have tried to do the retooling and think that we're a playoff/championship team when in reality there was nowhere near it. But now they're going to have to do a full rebuild and probably got to unload Devontae pretty soon because I don't think he should have to go through another rebuild because this dog shit franchise couldn't do what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I 100% agree. I think the Raiders are it's a trash team, and honestly, like, vibes are high right now with AP and stuff. But like, I thought they were gonna get blown out today by the Dolphins. They didn't. They still lose. But what's gonna happen when who do they play next week? They play the fucking Chiefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's gonna happen when you play the Chiefs and you get blown out, dude? Like, are the vibes still gonna be higher? Are you still gonna be playing loose and free? Like, I don't know, dude. So, like, I would love to see AP get an opportunity to be a head coach, but I just don't think that, like, maybe the Raiders do it. Maybe they do hire Antonio Pierce. But what's the conversation gonna be like when the Raiders are fucking 4-12 next year, 4-15 or whatever, 4-13? Everyone's gonna be like, why did we hire this guy? We should hire somebody else. Like, that's the problem with Raider fans, dude.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just they beat the Giants and the Jets, and they're like, oh, bro, we're good, dude. We're a good team, bro. Like, we're back. We're playing free. Like, dude, you lost today. Are you still playing free? Like, what's going on, bro? Like, nah, the Raiders, they're trash, bro. They're gonna be trash for a while. They should have, if they didn't keep John Gruden, or like you said, if they didn't keep Bisaccia, they should have just tore it down and rebuilt. And they didn't. They tried to retool. And then apparently this report comes out today that, like, Josh McDaniels lost the locker room because he didn't keep Derek Carr. Although there was a report at the end of last year saying that, like, Derek Carr didn't have any accountability and that the locker room didn't really buy into him and all this shit. So who the fuck knows, dude? The Raiders are a fucking mess. Shocker. All right, let's move on to the next game. Cardinals at Texans. Cardinals were 5.5-point dogs. They cover. They lose 21-16. The total is 48. It goes under. This was a game of fucking turnovers, dude. Turnovers after turnovers after motherfucking turnovers. CJ Stroud had 3 interceptions. But, you know, Cardinals hung in there, dude. Kyler Murray's looked good since he's come back.
Yeah, he's proven he's a franchise QB. The Cardinals are going to continue to build around him. Honestly, man, they're just a wide receiver, couple corners,
Couple a tackle.
yeah, defensive tackle. They're a couple pieces away from really having a say in the NFC.
I mean, this is a team that won the NFC West, or that was in contention for NFC West 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think they're that far off, but I thought maybe they would go opposite of Kyler, but I think Kyler's come back and he's looked really good under competent coaching. That's the thing, is that Cardinals have competent coaching. And that's the difference. So I'm excited to see where the Cardinals go. I definitely don't think they draft a quarterback anymore. If anything, if they have a top pick, they're going to trade out and they're going to fucking draft more pieces. I think they've shown that in the last draft as well. So excited to see where the Cardinals go from there. Obviously, the Texans are legit. CJ Stroud's legit. Texans have a shot at winning that division, man.
And making the playoffs.
They might win that division, Irv.
Yeah, no, more I think about it, damn, they could win that division because they beat the Jaguars
already. Yeah, they could legit win that division, dude. It's crazy as that is to say. All right, let's look ahead to Monday Night Football, Irv. Eagles at Chiefs, the Kelsey Bowl once again. Is Taylor Swift going to be in attendance?
I think she's still doing her concert, right?
All right, cool. So Travis Kelsey's going to suck. The Chiefs -2.5. The total is 45.5. What's your thoughts on this one?
I think it's going to be another close game. It could be a defensive struggle, honestly, or it could be high scoring like the Super Bowl. It just depends on what. Yeah, it just depends on what offense we get from the Chiefs. Now, if the Chiefs don't come out and muster up any offense, it could get ugly, honestly, because we know the Eagles can put up points. It's just the Eagles got to be able to stop somebody at some point too. Mm-hmm. So, and we have seen a lot of points get put on that defense these last couple of weeks by the Commanders, by the Cowboys. So, can the Chiefs offense take advantage of this defense? We haven't seen them take advantage of any defense so far. So it's going to be interesting. But honestly, I think that there's going to be a type of it's going to be a playoff atmosphere, Super Bowl atmosphere. Honestly, it's the rematch of last year's Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a close game. You might want to look at the under, honestly, because even though the Eagles put up points, I don't know if the Chiefs offense just hasn't shown me enough to be able to score in the high 20s or the high 30s right now. So can they do it? Maybe, but they got to show me. So I would lean the Eagles. I think the Eagles are the underdog, right?
Mm-hmm. 2.5.
What are 2.5? Yeah, I would definitely lean the Eagles with plus the points. Would love it at 3, honestly.
I like the Chiefs. Anytime you give me Mahomes under a touchdown or under a field goal, I'm taking it, dude. No hesitation. He's the best quarterback on the fucking planet. There's no question about that. I think the Chiefs are a better defense than the Eagles. And I don't even know if Jordan Davis is going to be playing. I mean, not Jordan Davis. Jalen Carter. I don't think Jalen Carter is going to be playing either. And the Eagles secondary has been.
Those two not playing. Nakobe Dean just got put on IR too. That could definitely have an effect on the defense.
Yeah. I like
it might turn into a shootout then, honestly.
I like the Chiefs, bro.
I'm gonna still lean the Eagles. I gotta see more from that Chiefs offense.
I don't even care. I think the Chiefs defense is legit, dude. I think they're one of the best defenses in the league. I think that's the difference between the Chiefs now and Chiefs of before.
I can see that.
All right. So let's get some best bets.
Let's go, y'all.
So what's your best bets for tomorrow, Irv?
Tomorrow, I'm looking at 3 best bets for myself. I'm gonna go Boston Bruins on the money line minus 135 against the Lightning. Absolutely killing the NHL right now. 13-1. I think they won like 5 or 6 in a row.
It's crazy. Both Boston NHL and NBA teams, great regular season teams, dog shit playoff teams.
So I like them on the money line. I also like the over in the Rangers and the Stars game. Both of these teams are good.
What's the over?
But they haven't been good. It's 5.5. I think 5.5 is the new. You gotta automatically take the over in the.
Who's playing the Rangers and who?
NHL. It's the New Jersey Rangers versus the Dallas Stars.
Okay. All right.
I like the over 5.5 for that game. And then tomorrow, my last best bet is going to be we're going to the hardwood. We're going to the NBA.
All right.
And I like over for the Kings and the Pelicans. It's currently sitting at 237.5.
Jesus Christ.
I honestly think this game could be 130 to 135, like 132 to 130. So the Kings pace, they barely play defense, and the Pelicans, they don't play that much defense either. So it's gonna be a run 'em. It's gonna be up and down, running gun type game.
That's a high total. The only thing I would combat you with that game is that Sacramento, they play with a huge pace, but on the flip side, New Orleans not a great offensive efficiency team. But I mean, I don't blame you. That's Kings games always fucking go over somehow.
Yeah, and the Pelicans put up 120 today.
Who they play?
The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, that's a good team too. Defense team. All right. My 2 best bets. I'm going Kansas City minus 2.5. Love that bet. And I'm going UCLA tomorrow plus 6 against Marquette. I love this bet because Mike Cronin always has a great defensive team. I don't care who's on the floor. Right. I think that UCLA is going to be able to keep this within the number. UCLA 15th in defensive efficiency this year, 11th in efficient field goal percentage against, 27th in 3-point field goal against. I know they haven't really played a ton of quality opponents, but I think Mike Cronin behind the bench, dude. I like UCLA plus 6 against Marquette here.
Nice.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight. Make sure to download the Sharps app, SHARPZ. Use promo code Jord517. It's free to download. Track your bets, become a better. We got some best bets. Irv got Boston Bruins minus 135, over 5.5 Rangers in Dallas. He's taking over 237.5 Pelicans and Sac. I got UCLA plus 6 and Kansas City minus 2.5 tomorrow. Love those bets, dude. So thank you all for joining us. We'll be back on Tuesday night. We'll be talking some NBA, NHL, NFL, NCAA, college hoops, etc. So make sure to join us. Damn, we got a lot coming up this week. We got a lot of Thursday night games with Thursday games with the Thanksgiving and shit.
Yeah, you got Thursday night, you got NFL, and you got college.
Yeah, we got a lot of games, man. So definitely want to tap in. We appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. For Swerving over in Washington, I'm Jordan Stacks on Stacks on Stacks Lives. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.